Hello and welcome to day 17 of Awakening to Ascension. I will be your host today, Janae, and I'm joined today with Alex and Marlene. And today's topic is the historical context of the aura. And we are going to go slightly more in depth regarding the Kirlian photography. So Semyon Kirlian actually discovered this by mistake when he took a photograph and he saw a spark between an electroid and the skin. And he realized that if you use high resolution electricity, you can actually see the corona discharge that comes off of a living being. And he discovered through this technique what he called the phantom leaf method. And what this is a ghost image that you see even after part of the leaf has actually been taken off. And what this did was it actually proved that the energetic blueprint exists before and after physical matter. So basically, it's your aura, and it just goes a little bit deeper into what that actually means, because lots of people speak about it. Lots of people have heard this term, and some people are able to see auras. And for those of you that have absolutely no idea, I think this is going to be a really, really great, insightful episode for you. So does Marlene want to come in and give us a little bit of her beautiful knowledge?
Hi, everyone. For me, this is a very interesting subject. And there is so much that actually is happening. So, if we look at the word aura, it also means breath or breeze in Greek. And if we then look at how it was depicted in the Indian Vedic civilization, it was actually about an energetic sheath surrounding the body. And that's actually very interesting in terms of how we see an aura. Whether you actually see it or whether you can feel it, you know that it's there, really. If somebody comes and stands too close to you in a queue, for example, you know by feeling that something is not right. If somebody can see the auric field, they will pick up light and they will pick up different colors, and each color has a different meaning. So that is a whole other topic, which I'm sure we are going to cross as well. Yes, Janae.
So, Marlene, just to add with the color that you speak of, so that everybody understands that it does change. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your aura is a set color. It's like the weather. The weather is continuously changing, and our auras change depending on our mood and on our health. So sometimes if you are stressed, your aura is dim and it's jagged. And if you are vibrating on a high frequency, it's very bright and it's very illuminative. So it's really expansive. So with regards to the color of your aura, you've got a red, which is your chakra. And that is, if you are in balance, that means that it's grounded, you're grounded and you're strong. And if you're out of balance, it is a sign of burnout and anger. Then you have the color orange, which is your sexual and your creative energy. So if you are in balance, that means that you have a creative flow and you are in a joyful state. And if you are out of balance, it's emotional stress. Then if you look at the solar plexus, that is a yellow color. So the yellow is actually representative of the person speaking and being in their truth. And if you look at the heart chakra, which is a green color, that means that the person is living from their heart space. And if it's a blue color, it's the throat chakra, and that means they're speaking their truth. And a purple indigo color, it's a sign that they are highly intuitive and they are operating with a very active third eye. And if the aura is glowing a white gold, that means that you are extremely connected to source energy. So for those of you just wanting to understand the different colors, there are other colors as well that you can go more in depth with, but these are just some that you have a slight understanding with. And Alex, you can come in and give us some more.
Yeah, so basically auras are a multi-layered energy field around our body, and some refer to it as like the bio field, right? And as you're mentioning all these different colors that the auras can be, I actually always thought they were the same color for a particular person. Like it's like, oh, that person's got a blue aura field, but it makes more sense for them to change with your emotions and your feelings. Actually reminds me of that stone. I forget what gem it is, but it's like the mood ring. When you're wearing this stone, it changes colors. Is that connected to like our auric field? Is that just like a way to find out what your aura is at that moment? Some people can see auras. I can't. I I can't. Can either of you two see them?
So I can see auras. I'm tapping into that field and that space a little bit more. We discussed in another chat between ourselves with regards to your gifts that slowly start to come in as you are aligning and you are ready to receive those gifts. And when you also physically and mentally focus your energy and attention on what you are being presented with. So I'm slowly starting to see auras and it is quite exciting. And I also want to just say for those of you that will relate a little bit, if you look in historic context and paintings, they painted a halo and an aura around the enlightened beings in those paintings for us to actually understand that those beings in the painting were ones that were of significant importance. So I'm slowly starting to see it, but I do personally know of somebody who can see them quite clearly. She can actually also see spirit animals. So she sees your spirit animal that stands with you as well, which is so, I think it's so cool. And this is going a little bit off topic, but when she first discovered it, she got such a fright because she was lying in the bed and she woke up and there was a bear standing over her bed, not in a harmful way, but I mean to wake up, opening your eyes and seeing a bear standing staring at you. She was like, whoa, what is happening? So when she told me she can see auras, she described to me that mine was blue. And if I go back to that blue, which is the throat chakra, it's speaking your truth. And that is what I'm embodying at the moment. So when I relate to that conversation, I now realize that it's all of this that we're discussing is quite interesting and it's fun because it's children. We are learning and we are growing. And the more we learn, the more we grow. And like Marlene's constantly said, we attending the school of the universe. We are students of the universe. Yes, Marlene.
So I love to actually experience the auric fields in nature. So I love to see the auras of birds and trees. So I do a lot more out in nature than what I do of people. And also, it's very interesting to note how the aura actually expands or contracts with the energy of that being. So again, just as our mood is either that more heightened in positivity or sometimes a little bit lower and subdued, exactly the same thing happens in your auric field with the experiences that you're actually having. And that is also wonderful to be able to see and to feel into it. Alex.
You just reminded me of a way that I got of a way to see auras. So like I can't see them regularly, but what you just spoke about with like the trees and nature reminded me. I was reading this book. It was called, I think it was the Celestine Prophecy, where they're talking about if you hold your fingers together like this and kind of look at them until your fingers kind of blend together, and you'll see like that little like go cross-eyed and you'll see the little finger. And then if you look past your finger and pull your fingers apart, you can start to see like this glow around plants. And what Janae said about the phantom leaf, like that's wild. Like you can cut a leaf and they take a picture of it and it'll still have the outline of the full leaf. Yes, Marlene.
So, speaking directly to that point, if somebody has lost a limb, you still feel it as a phantom limb because you still got your aura around it, and so that's quite. It's kind of crazy when you don't understand it, but that leg, for example, might still feel like it's there and it's aching, but it's actually gone, it's off. But it's the aura, just exactly the same as you were just talking about with the leaf. So, yeah, Janae.
And I also just, obviously we're drawing on all the conversations that we're having because they are all interlinked, and there is a higher resonance to our podcasts and our episodes. It's an activation essentially, and we're doing a 90-day activation for those listeners and viewers because it's going to bring you into a higher state of vibration and frequency, and by doing so, not only in self but in our collective. I just wanted to add, when we spoke about our cleanse and when you feel the energy of somebody else on you, what it's called, your aura, is actually an energetic skin. So, what you need to understand and realize is you need to be very mindful and conscious of the light that you are bringing in to your energetic skin. And also remember what projection you are giving onto somebody else's energetic skin. And to also just make something so beautiful with regards to the collective and how we are all so intertwined is if two people that are sharing the love frequency and they are embodying love, their auras, their energetic skin, and their auric fields actually start to create a third auric field around their two individual fields. So that is also something so sacred in that love energy, but something to remember, like we discussed, about energy exchange, and when you are in the presence of somebody else, how long you are in their presence for, because your cells are starting to migrate within one another as well as your energetic skins. So you really need to be extremely mindful with regards to who you are surrounding yourself with. And this is something I learned from somebody else during my awakening process, is the windows to the soul are through the eyes. Okay. And because of that, sometimes if you hold a gaze with somebody for longer than 7 seconds, that means that you are becoming connected. And that's what we spoke about, the cord cutting and all of those, again, relatable topics. What you can do is you can look at a person in their third eye when you're speaking to them. So it looks as though you are looking into their eyes. So you can look into their eyes, but make sure that you are not gazing into their soul for longer than 7 seconds, specifically if their field is of a lower vibration. You look at their forehead, at their third eye in conversation. Yes, Marlene.
Oh, I was going to say, following on to what you were saying, you literally, when people say, and two become one, that literally then means exactly that, where your auric field has the extra layer and the two of you have now become one, which is quite incredible. Yes, Alex.
So you might not be able to see auras, but well, if you're like me, that is, but you can definitely feel them. When you go around somebody who hasn't done their energetic hygiene, they're in a bad mood, you can feel like the angst just around them, just getting close to them, especially if you're an empath. You're like, I don't know what kind of energy that dude's got, but I don't like it. And when you get close to somebody, like part of your energy field will touch theirs. And if you're in great spirits, then you will inadvertently lighten and soften their field. And you can begin to feel, I mean, I'm very like feely when it comes to like this type of energy, where if I walk into a room and that whole room is like super depressed, like kajunk, I feel everyone's emotions. But I also have a very powerful energy field, so if I'm able to project enough like positive energy, it can start to soften all the fields around me. But then because I've taken on so much, I would then have to go like ground or do some kind of cleansing in order to clear my field if I didn't want to keep that on top of myself anymore.
So again, exactly to what you were speaking of, somebody might meet you and say, gosh, you feel very prickly today. And that is literally them picking up on your auric field that is prickly. So it's actually pushing out not a smooth, gentle, calm vibration, but the jagged edges of that ugh, stuckness, anger, annoyance. So a lot of the terminology that we use really does describe what we are feeling, even though we can't see it. Alex.
Yes, that actually happened to me going through the dark night of my soul. A friend came into my bedroom and she, the first word she said, she's like, "Oh, the air is dense in here." And I was just like, "What does that mean?" I mean, I was not in a very great state of mind at the moment. I was very depressed. I was very just distraught and nihilistic and just like, I don't care about anything. And she just picked up on it the moment she walked in the room. Yeah, Janae?
So just to add to that empath, and when you walk in a room, you can feel that density, that heavy. It's like, ugh, I don't want to be in here. But as light beings, sometimes you feel this obligation that you need to be the light to aid in those heavy, stagnant energies. And like Alex said, when he walks out, he has to go ground himself, and because it's attaching to him. So you use your discernment, obviously, as a light empath with regards to being around those heavy, muddy type of auric fields. So there will be times that you can, like I said to you, your energetic skin, you're going to give light so that they start to shine brighter and their mood is lifted. But you have to be very, very careful that by giving your light, you don't take on their muddy. So you have to be very careful in that energy exchange because it can be detrimental to you with regards to how you leave that environment. And if you are in a position where you are in a like a loop with the same people that you are surrounding yourselves with in that like deep, like, so Alex, you said that your friend walked into your room and she was like, oh my gosh. Now imagine she walked into your presence every single time you were feeling like that. It starts to become, it makes her feel heavy. So it's just that discernment with regards to who you are around and how often you are around them. And also know that you don't always have to give so much of your light for those very dense energies. Yes, Marlene.
And that for me is just the most wonderful thing about animals. We have pets, cats, dogs, and they radiate that unconditional love. And you feel it immediately when you walk into a room and that animal comes and sits with you and you stroke it. You're literally in that auric field, and they are holding that space for us as humanity a lot of the time, where they pick up on our moods and they start to change it so beautifully for us. And that is just one of the most wonderful blessings in my life, anyway, with animals. I just love it. Janae.
You're so right, because it's that thing where it's a dog, right? For instance, and somebody comes to your house and they do not like that person and they barking, they growling, and you think, jeepers. But the dog can sense the energetic field of that person, and they are warning you by letting you know that you're not seeing it. They can feel it and they can see it, they can sense it. So something else with regards to animals being these pure beings, just this love, this unconditional love that they emit. Babies and children are the exact same. Have you ever been anywhere where there's a baby and everybody like that walks past the baby does not look at the baby and go, hello, hello? Like, you become this like coochie coochie around a child. And what I wanted to say with regards to children and them being closer to source and them being these light, they emit, is that even a word? Emit that white gold light. And something that I came across and learned is the belly breathing that we spoke of. If you look at a child, their breathing comes from their bellies, not from their diaphragm, not from their ribs. So they are breathing from their belly, which is allowing that pure energy to continue radiating and expanding. So that's something that you can practice. If you are feeling that your auric field is dense, or you're around people that are in a more heavy, like, do belly breath. And we always speak about coming back to the breath. If you are in a stressful situation, breathe. Become present in that moment with your breath. And belly breathing is one of the fastest ways for you to connect back to your inner child and source energy. So 3 belly breaths, as simple as that. You place your hand on your belly so that you become aware with your body, and you literally just take a breath in for 4 counts and a breath out, pushing your hand away from your belly and back into your belly so that you can step back into your light.
Yes.
Alex.
A quick note on the animal and the pet thing. You ever realize that after, like, when you're not feeling so great and you pet your animal, right afterward, they shake it off? Like, they're literally absorbing your energy and they just shake it off. Like when you almost hit like an antelope with your car on the side of the road, it just like shakes real quick and then it just continues on trotting along doing its thing. And this is especially for those that feel like they're not making a big enough difference in this new world that we're building. Is just by maintaining your own self-care, you're taking care of your energy field. And that is contagious to everyone around you. If you walk down the street, you smile to somebody with a genuine smile, you could have changed their day, and then they can turn around and do that to somebody else. We're making big change, and it starts with each of us. If we just take care of our corner, it'll ripple out until the whole world feels it and eventually the whole universe. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have any ideas for topics you'd like us to cover, and we'll see you next time.